How is it that I'm even talking to you right now, back here in the back?
Well, like I was telling Big Mike, whatever reflexes I had left wanted me to continue fighting, continue in the cage, and pulled me through. And like I said, we were able to scramble, get back on top, get where we need to be, and got my check, and here we are.
Do you even remember the knee? I mean, did you see it coming? Do you remember, what do you remember after that? I mean, how long did it take to get your senses back?
Like I told Big Mike, I was in control that whole fight according to what I had going on. If you guys saw something else, that wasn't me.
Once you were able to kind of recover and hold on, could you feel his energy just had kind of completely sapped at that point? That's what it seemed to look like watching it on the screen.
You know what we mentioned, the first round really went my way. I was able to use my wrestling to crowd and control him. Second round, I know that was the same game plan, but my opponent, Jose really had my number and was following into that. Lucky for me, reflexes took over. But yeah, I mean, we were able to keeping on and get that W where we needed it.
He had kind of had a similar situation happen in his fight against Anthony Johnson. Had you watched that fight, and was that something that you knew going in, that maybe he was the kind of fighter who could hurt you, but you'd be able to persevere and he'd fade later on?
Like I've said before, you know, I don't do a whole lot of film watching. I have a great coaching staff who kind of digests that for me, and you know, they saw that coming. You know, they knew that he was looking for a big shot. I was going to be taking shots, and he was going to be looking for either a big knee or up top that big overhand that he was trying to throw in the first. And if I had been listening to them, 100% following through the game plan they gave me, it might not have been as contentious or exciting, but I believe that they had my best interest in heart. So yeah, to put it out plainly, it was hard for me to go off plan because I didn't really come in there with a plan.
Makes sense.
So yeah, as far as watching my opponents before the fight's not doing a lot of that, but I'll be watching the real exciting match apparently after, and we're gonna be learning and maybe keeping our head a little better defended while we shoot in.
I mean, nobody wants to get cracked like that, but the fact that you were able to push through it and basically dominate after that, is that the kind of positive that you take out of a fight like this? And down the road, will it be good that happened to you?
You know, I think that just looking generally at my face, you would guess that I kind of have a tough, thick skull, but it's nice to be able to show the efficacy of that thick wrapped around skull. Yeah, and you know, I'm letting you guys in on a little secret. That's the first time I've been rocked like that in a fight. Anyone who's seen my previous ones, even my loss against fighter coming out today in the co-main, Anglikas, I don't take a whole lot of damage, a whole lot of big rocks, and this fight just goes to show that I can take those and I can keep pushing that pace and being offensive after. So, like I think you said, it's going to be maybe a good thing down the road after I take a week off and rest up a little.
You said that in your mind you were in control the entire fight, and the way that things turned out very well may have been. Is that how you were able to stay as calm as you did? Because the adjustments on the arm bar, I just thought for sure you were going to tap.
Yeah, you know, there's a common thought and philosophy that yourself is defined as your constant stream of consciousness going through, and like I said, I didn't really get that part where I was in trouble. So to me, I was able to stay calm and collected and keep in control the whole time, keep that pressure on. You know, getting out of the arm bar, kind of on reflex. We're out there, and you know, I know that I'd put it on him a little bit. Maybe if he had caught that a little earlier, found me in that arm bar a little sooner, it may have gone his way. But pushing forward, both of us the way we were. I was able to get out of it and reaffirm control and get after it that fight.
Excellent, excellent. So is that what you attribute your ability to just have that workmanlike attitude and continue to push on and on to?
Yeah, and a big part of that is just wrestling. We talk about it all the time, and you talk to anyone who's wrestled in the Midwest before, and they know it's just all about that grind. Wrestling match is only 7 minutes, but practice is 90, 120 minutes of just straight grind and push. And so it's kind of just dug into my unconsciousness, my DNA. So even if I'm not everything functioning up top, I can count on my body to keep pushing through and reaffirm control and keep my hips in the right place.
Last question. Did you make it to Pappy's?
Haven't been to Pappy's yet. Just keep it. I kind of have a thing. Call me old school, but before the weigh-ins, I like to find a nice pasta joint, get my carb on, make sure I got energy for the next day. But I definitely found it on Google Maps and put a little bookmark there. We'll be hitting it up.
First of all, congratulations, Alex. You make it extremely difficult for me to do my job and be professional when you fight like that. We're not allowed to cheer, but to be professional, and you made it really hard. First, I got to ask you about the slam. You had him up there for a minute. Were you contemplating what to do with him for a second, or did you know what you were going to do?
Anyone who's seen me before knows that I really like dipping down for that, what we've been calling an Iranian lift. It works really well, especially for guys against the cage where they can't put that pressure back. Mm-hmm. They either got to go over the top of me or they got to go straight down, which either way, I'm usually strong enough to pull them up. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I was deciding whether we were going to jump backwards or if we were going to lay him down flat or push him over to the side. It kind of depends on what he's doing with his hands. Eventually what happened, he's trying to scoot, he's pushing his hands away, hasn't really committed to the full front or can't take him back, so we just decided to dump him off to the side, and I think that was the right course of action. It kind of put him on his back, rocked him a little bit. It was fairly obvious that he had a good jiu-jitsu kind of game, so he was all right being down and on his back, and we were able to capitalize on that in the first round and really start pounding on him.
Okay, you had him hurt multiple times with the ground and pound. Are you surprised it didn't get stopped?
Yeah, he's real tough, and there was a couple times I was throwing hooks, I was throwing straights, I was throwing hammer fists, trying to mix in some elbows there. And there was a couple times where you could tell that my flurry was starting to slow down just because he was doing such a good job defending, covering himself up, and keeping enough movement in place so the ref didn't call it. Definitely was looking for that finish in the first. We were on top of him so long, throw that ground and pound. But we can't take too long being surprised and astonished and outraged. This isn't the WWE where we can, what was that? It was a 3 count. You got to keep pressing on and doing what works. So that's where we're at.